We could lose everything if we lose some, if he was not to fill it with water before we got here.
Yeah, but you did the long hoses. There are short hoses there. And
I
we're
know.
gonna there. You
You
were
are
like
so heavy. My knees and legs were
we
killing
had 100
climbing
feet
the
long
steps.
hoses, and with the plug extra holes
I
on
plugged it
I'm
on.
like, what the? As soon as I tell Maria, show me the camera. So as soon as she saw me the tank, I said, I'm coming.
Well, here, look, Tim's like,
Me. I was like, what the f? He's like,
Yeah, you guys are almost pretty much done. Rocks around.
Yeah.
Corals are just like everywhere. Floor
Sounds
was
like-
drenched.
it was quick and fast.
Yeah.
They were here too, so they were almost like, I'm giving.
She's just waiting for us.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Teamwork, brother. Teamwork.
It's no thinking.
Sunday mornings or Sunday late nights are notorious for fails. This particular Sunday morning, I got woken up by Maria, who saw tons of water on the floor and heard that, well, we all know what that sound is of that dry pump, that grinding dry pump noise. So she woke me up at 7 in the morning. I went downstairs hoping that something came out of a pipe, just something easy that I can fix.
There's something, it's like something happened at the back, so that's why I went at the back and then turned off the lights, and then I just saw the water on the floor, and then I put a lot of buckets, so I don't know what to do, so I called Wilson. After that one, I called Mr. Sandler because I'm so worried about the fish because the water almost gone in the tank. Hi sir, good morning. I think I need your help in here. And I said, what happened? And I said, "Yeah, one of the tank had a leak," and he's like, what? Okay, I'll be there.
When I went downstairs, tank was halfway drained. I believe it was leaking from the speed of which we saw happen. Probably 1 to 2 hours. Right.
I think it's more than 2 hours.
When I walked down the stairs, I smelled that coral smell, which is not a good smell. So I immediately grabbed the pump, took water out of this big display, filled up the tank. Marie and I were filling up that 250. It's just pouring out just almost as fast as the water's going in. But at least I knew the coral was getting wet. And then when I called Yeltsin, how long are you gonna be here? And he says 7 minutes. And I was like,
Let me take a guess. He was here at 4.
it's 4 minutes. It almost. I think you were here 5 minutes.
Well, when he left, he called me. We were already going, in the van, and then we're going to Polo.
Yeah.
So, but I couldn't believe he was here before me, and I live closer to you. So,
I was flying, brother.
Trust me, it's one of those things. The some seam broke, and the tank's coming down. There's no sugarcoating this.
there's no fixing.
I did the pump before because I worked in here before also. So when I come here, so I saw water everywhere in here. So it's like the water when it comes, it's like the water and so okay. I'm trying. I couldn't figure it out, so that's why I call you.
Hey, wear the polo shirt. You should put a polo shirt on it. Come on. You're right. You're
I'm a team
right.
Sandler, so I'm
the
not
team.
yeah. So now we figured out we put a lot of buckets, small bucket in here, and then we get the pump. We found the
Then
pump.
you call me.
Yeah.
6:45. Wake me up.
The water is everywhere. The motor almost running out. It's like we're just grabbing one of these, and then it's like this not long enough. So we figured out this one is more better to use and open it, and then put in the big tank.
Manpower to get the coral and fish out, water, and space. Those are the 3 variables.
Big.
Thank God at Polo we had an empty quarantine tank close enough to the system, and we had the clam tank basically once we removed the rock structure open. And the reason why we chose to do that was because that was connected to the 17,000. We know the 17,000 gets dosed and is stable.
Well, it's
And
also.
so we made that decision and we moved it twice.
I mean, the clam tank is up to par with the display, same system.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. This tank, the parameters are run so similar to the 250s that the corals were not in shock. It's not like you're making brand new water. Now, if you're at home and this happens, it's really a reefer's worst nightmare. You could ruin the house.
Yeah. Oh no, you could ruin the whole
Carpets, insurance companies.
And I don't think you'll be covered by the insurance
Yeah,
company
I know.
on something like this. So.
I'm mostly worried about the fish because the water almost running out, and the corals anyway, because they're more alive, more than the fish. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know what time it started, but I'm thinking probably around 2 or 3. You know, because it's starting a little leak. I think it's not starting right away a lot, right? So I think the alarm is broken. Maybe. I don't know.
Had we not had that water, what would we have done? We would have, first of all, I think everybody should keep one of those big, huge Rubbermaid Home Depot 100-gallon vats. And if you could throw some live rock in there from the system with some circulation.
And that's exactly what we're doing. I mean, we
Yeah.
not only saved all the corals and the fish,
Yeah.
we also want to save the rock,
Right.
live rock,
Right.
for the replacement down
Right.
the road.
So we used those 150 vats and they came in handy.
Maintain them to keep them alive.
Flow, so you're gonna need some extra pumps. Heater, yeah. You didn't know this, but because the pump wasn't running, it was 2 or 3 degrees cooler. Tank dropped down, the 250s dropped down to like 73, 74.
It was.
That was fast. Dropped 30 degrees, 250 gallons of water.
Yeah. It's
More than 250, it was 500. 500
Right,
gallons.
once
of
it turned off.
Yeah.
It's something that I think, including myself, as
You
a,
should be
as a
prepared.
hobbyist,
You have to be prepared for.
for the exception
For extra.
of having 60 gallons of mixed water at all times.
Yep.
Because that's something I do keep for an emergency water change.
Yep. A lot of people don't do that, Joe.
No, I
They
don't
make
know
it
that I
as
have.
they need it.
You don't realize. I mean, that's a huge tank, and the amount of corals that was in the tank is a lot.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't have the space for stuff like that, or the good network of friends and reefers that have tanks that can take stuff, and
And this is an emergency. This is on the fly, and it's
Yeah.
like Andrew said. This happens on a Sunday, either
Always-
early
always
morning
on
or
a
late
Sunday.
night. And
Sunday late night or Sunday first thing in the morning?
when you call up a friend to help you, he's either sleeping or he's
Right.
out to dinner.
Right.
It's what I call a reefer's nightmare that you don't want to even think about. But we were.
Space, water, pumps, heaters, vats. You see the 125 or 150 gallon Rubbermaid Home Depot vats. These are really important to keep around the house. We're keeping live rock in here just with flow and a heater. This needs no introduction. This is the leaky tank we broke down. This is its next door neighbor, which did not leak. I'd say this got maybe 10% of the corals and most of the fish went in here. We used this tank in quarantine to basically lift, put them in here, and then from here we moved them to the clam tank.
yeah, we're gonna think about that too.
That's a scary place.
That's what you have, guys.
And now our clam tank has some clams, but also is loaded with aquapora in no specific style, but they all seem to be doing reasonably well. The water's key though, right? Because
Water's key.
you can't sit there and be making 60-degree RO water and let it heat up. Your corals are gonna singe up
or a lot
with no
of
water.
water storage that you could try to save some water from the tank as much as you can. I mean,
Well, we were trying to capture the water coming down in buckets, but that wasn't working because it was going everywhere.
if you have one of those vats, you can pump what's left
You
of your
know.
tank into it and then move the coral in.
I mean, we had
Somebody else is leaking it anyway.
David vacuuming water, and he couldn't keep up.
New tanks or old tanks, they can have.
You know.
But in this case, we did use a secondhand tank, which we didn't think about. But they didn't make these anymore, and they fit 100% perfect in the spot. And it was just like this perfect solution, we thought. If you would have re-siliconed that from the get-go,
I went inside the tank today,
yes,
the empty tank,
Yeah.
looking.
and
I can't
you
find
can't find it. Where do you
siliconing. Where?
Pulping. I don't know.
The silicone's really in between the glass to really do it right.
Right.
Cut them apart.
You
so
could
can't
build
just
on
silicone.
top of it for no reason.
Yeah, sometimes if it's separating, it's gonna separate.
I can't find the overflow boxes are literally still full of water. So it didn't leak from those backs.
No, it was either the bottom or one of the sides and leaked.
Wherever the leak is, because when the water came down, when we emptied everything out, only 1/3 left in the tank stopped leaking.
It could be the pressure though.
Yeah, it could have been the pressure.
Less pressure. It's not
Less pressure.
Might have still been dripping, just not as fast. And
Yeah.
you just couldn't really see it.
It looked like the bottom seal. We didn't care how much water was going on the floor. We cared of getting these animals
Yeah,
alive.
but the Maria
Right.
one that she showed me, there was less water.
So that's the
it was
thing.
coming down. When I
Usually
get
it
here,
starts as a
It
small
was
leak.
getting worse.
right.
Oh,
Obviously.
that's only
Opens up.
because first thing I did was grab the pump,
Oh, yeah.
grab the pool
the pressure.
hoses,
Right, so it's the
put
pressure.
the pump in here, and filled up because I knew I had to get those corals wet.
That's why
pressure,
there's more
it-
pressure on it.
Right now, from what we see, is those cores are the most affected in terms of stress. They're definitely pissed. We do have sensors, but the issue is that they are so sensitive
Any-
that
any
with
wet.
us working
Right.
every day with water,
They were always going off.
They were
you know,
Dogs
they
were
go
going
off and,
crazy.
it bothers the dogs
Right.
more than anybody.
Right.
But those sensors are going to be plugged in every night before we leave this place.
And the
because-
apex sensor, another good idea, right?
Yeah, we'll do like a rate of change in the sump. So if the sump starts dropping,
But we need something to wake people up.
The computer, our main computer, does that. Sends
Oh.
text, and it makes a cell phone call, right?
So
yeah,
three,
it makes a cell phone call if there's no internet.
I think it's important because you could have lost everything,
I know.
you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was a bad morning, but it turned out to be a good afternoon.
Yes, we're not just going to replace that one tank.
No, we're gonna replace anything we have left of that brand.
They left of that.
Yeah, we
We
don't
are
wanna-
taking that brand out of our house.
look, just one tank leaked, the other tank didn't. If it was one, now you have a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Bigger tank, more corals, more water, more.
One huge one that would have been a real problem.
We got lucky in a sense because the quarantine tanks were kind of light.
I mean, right there for you.
Right there, we were
Like
like-
you would just go on.
I mean,
Rock
Yeltsin
took
was,
right there.
Yeltsin was handing me pieces this big, and I was, you know, it's more to prepare from our bad experience to hobbyists like myself. Don't take everything for granted. Have some sort of a plan for that day, and pray that it never comes. But at least you have the preparation for it.
Agreed.
Because it's like you have a fire, but you don't have a fire extinguisher.
Right.
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 You go running to Home Depot and get a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, the house is burnt down around it.
So
A lot of people don't keep 100 gallons of water around. No, but even let's say the average person's tank is 150 gallons.
Probably only keeping 20 gallons.
Right.
20% water. What's that gonna do for you?
If they keep it around, sometimes they just some of these new salts like they want you to make it and in 24 use it in
Yes.
24 hours.
I had looked into that when I was maintaining to have
Yeah.
60 gallons at hand at all times. One of those salts that you could keep it mixed for a long time.
As long as it's not the bioactive bacteria one.
Correct. Or at least then buy this ready-made water in jugs and have 20 jugs in a closet.
Yeah, so more projects, more upgrades. I guess that's going to keep us from ordering some coral for a while because we are really out of space here now at Polo Reef. Really don't have a lot of space. I mean, yeah, we have space for fragment too.
We got 2,500 cycling.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of space. We're gonna have a lot of space.
By the time these tanks show up, we're probably going to be...
What if the
Look at
2,500 leak?
Oh, no, don't go there.
Sorry, sir.
Don't even thinking about that.
What am we're gonna be moving the stuff in here on the floor.
That's not going to happen.
That's not gonna happen. Hobbyists out there, take this as a, I don't know, a serious threat and warning with low probability, but just you should be prepared because the comments on my group were like, I've been through that. It actually took me out of the hobby. People will just,
Yeah.
they're just done.
Because also they're not prepared
Right.
for what we're talking about, that they're going to lose
Everything.
Their investment of years of corals and fish and money, they can't replace it. I mean, let's face it. This hobby is becoming expensive
Yeah.
by the minute, not
Right.
by the day.
Right.
There's no insurance on it.
We obviously waited till we got all the rocks out and drained down to.
And the fish catcher was already
And
here.
the fish catcher was here. There were a lot of like blue-eyed cardinals we couldn't
We
spot.
couldn't see them because they
It's like see-through, you know.
They were camouflage.
We put them in the other tanks. We put them in the 250 next door because we knew that tank was coming down. Otherwise, you would never get those out. And then if you lose half your system, don't forget to lower your dosing. We lowered all our dosing of our trace elements and our alkalinity.
Half the water, half the corals.
We took them down in half
Yeah, then we could just watch.
and watch.
And now we gotta watch because the other tank have bigger colonies.
Yeah, hope it never happens to you. But if it does, water, space, equipment.
And close friends.
Keeping the extra stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Or call Yeltsin.
Yeah, call me. I'll be
there
there
in
for
5
you.
minutes.
5
Doesn't
minutes.
matter where you are.
Everything's like.
So stay tuned. We're gonna have new tanks built. We may have some surprises for you. Click like and subscribe. See what's coming next.
Cause this is what I live for. I never quit, no, no. This is what I live for. I take another swing, so I never miss, no, no. This is what I live for. It's time to kiss the ring, oh, I'm trying to get through.
250 is leaking. What? Look, I just woke up.
You want to put a plastic mat under here?